Hello, dear partners. Let me introduce myself. My name is Anna Pirthalayishvili. I'm a project assistant in Georgian Association Women in Business. We are Georgian partner at the Efeb network. Welcome on our second webinar. And today, our topic will be digital skills and e-leadership. Let's get started. What about digital skills? What exactly are digital skills? When considering the digital skill gap, this question is not asked often enough. Cornell University defines digital literacy as the ability to find, evaluate, utilize, share, and create content using information technologies and the internet. By this definition, digital skills are any skills related to being digitally literate. Anything from the ability to find out your high score on Minesweeper to coding a website counts as a digital skill. Now let's talk about what are digital skills and why we need them. The ability to question and assess the quality of information on the web. The ability to recognize and use non-digital alternatives. The ability to quickly learn new computer-based systems and applications. One of the most important skills is the ability to take information from multiple sources and media and synthesize the information. The ability to find the information they need on the web as quickly as possible. The ability to manage their e-identities. This means choosing secure passwords, appropriate usernames for the location, making wise decisions about how much information to put online and where. The ability to interact through web-based communications such as video and audio conferencing. Netiquette and ability to communicate politely and with sensitivity to other cultures. The ability to create and publish their own thoughts, opinions, and insights and become part of the knowledge-sharing culture. The ability to negotiate, communicate, and navigate in 3D virtual worlds. Become creators and publishers, not just consumers of content. The ability to critically evaluate information, its credibility and reliability, to identify the authority of the source and to filter information in the vast pool of sources, to be responsible online citizens, and the ability to decode and read images. Now, let's talk about what digital skills do I need for the modern workplace. Knowing how to answer your emails, to access a company's files on Google Drive, or to tweak a website's code are all digital skills that are increasingly sought after in today's job market. However, in the modern workplace, it is increasingly impossible to point out which digital skills you may or may not need. There is no hard and fast rule about which jobs you need to excel for and which jobs you will not. Digital literacy is a language. The more digital skills you have, the better you can speak it. To the uninitiated, learning digital skills can make a person feel like they are entering a new country full of new customers. Digital skills come with their own set of sub-skills after all. Which jobs require digital skills? Now let's see. The job search website Indeed has listed HTML5, MongoDB, iOS, Android, and mobile apps as the fastest growing keywords found in online posts for jobs. Coding is a job related to all of these keywords, and it is evidently an industry that is booming. But it is not the only job that requires digital skills. Marketing, customer service, retail, managing, writing, and selling are all jobs associated with these keywords, and all of those jobs could well require digital skills. In short, it is safe to assume that almost all jobs will require some level of digital skills. Even if they do not, it is wise for job seekers to ensure themselves against the rising need for digital skills in the workplace. What about automation? Automation is the fear that due to the digital skill gap, employers will utilize automated technology in order to fill this gap. This fear is not unfounded. And there are many examples throughout history where technology has replaced jobs that were once done by people. But automation should not be seen as something to be afraid of. Rather, our worry about automation should be the reasoning behind embracing digital skills in whatever we can. As a result, there are three things that we should be doing. As you see here, firstly, we should be encouraging governments towards legislation that encourages the teaching of digital literacy. Secondly, we should be supporting companies that are attempting to fill the digital teaching gap that the government has left. And finally, as individuals, we need to make sure that our digital skill set is as wide as possible for future needs. Now let's talk about digital resources. How will digital skills change the workplace? It is not uncommon for journalists to search, plan, write, proofread, and send an article at a publisher all using their mobile phone or tablet. In some senses, digital skills make the workplace a freer and simpler place to navigate. A lot of work can now be done from home or on the move, but this also brings its own set of challenges. A consumer expects more from a company knowing that technology has made everything so much faster. These days, you will find a wide variety of digital resources available already for you to use, both multimedia and interactive. Now let's see here. What are multimedia resources and how might they be used? Multimedia resources consist of audio and video materials. For example, brief audio or video recordings of what is being said or done. For example, a recording of a lecture. Though care must be taken when undertaking this. Recording and reproducing an entire lecture is generally a poor road to student engagement. Second, short interviews with colleagues and experts. For example, interviewing a philosopher about ideas. Third one, clips to be used actively for learning. Uh, Fourth one, a video clip from a film to be used to provoke debate. Fifth one is an audio clip from a foreign broadcast to use as a listening exercise. The next one is an audio clip of different heartbeats, so medical students can learn to diagnose heart problems. And last one, an animation demonstrating how a particular scientific process is carried out in a lab. Excuse me. What is an interactive? What are interactive resources and how might they be used? Interactive resources change format following a stimulus from the user. A simple example of interactive material would be a quiz in which the user answers questions and is told whether they have answered correctly. A more complicated example would be a 3D world within which a number of students can participate in an activity. Interactive resources have the important advantage that they provide students with the feedback. Examples of interactive resources might be computer-based tests. Second, a business simulation that allows students to adjust expenditure on variables such as marketing and research and development in order to see the impact on sales. Third one is an engineering simulation that allows students to adjust the composition of concrete and test whether structures such as bridges remain stable. And fourth one, a 3D model of a hospital that allows medical students to experiment with different layouts without having to move actual patients. Now, digital resources. Now let's see what is pros and cons. Digital resources can be a powerful tool to deepen and support learning, but can also pose some challenges. Consider the following pros and cons of using multimedia as learning resources. Advantages of digital resources. Interactive resources can provide students with feedback. Digital resources can create a varied learning experience. Digital resources are flexible. The student can pause, fast forward, or rewind them, reflecting their own preferences. Digital resources are asynchronous. Learning can access them at any time, not just in the classroom. It has never been easier to locate digital resources on diverse topics and to share them in a course. Some concepts are more powerfully learned from a video. Example, seeing on an artwork, observing a dance, illustrating an abstract concept. Disadvantages of digital resources. Interactive resources can be more expensive to license or create. Digital resources can be more challenging to update than, say, a reading list. Digital resources can take longer to review than, say, a text which can be quickly skimmed. Clips can degrade over time unless they are saved in specific formats that require particular software. Additional work may be required in order to make the materials accessible to those with disabilities, example, providing transcripts. And the last one, technology problems and the need for expensive equipment may inhibit student access. Now let's talk about social media. Social media are computer-mediated tools that allow people, companies, and other organizations to create, share, or exchange information, career interests, ideas, and pictures, videos in virtual communities and networks. The variety of standalone and built-in social media services currently available introduces challenges of definition. However, there are some common features. Social media are web to internet-based applications. User-generated content, such as text, digital photo or digital video posts are the lifeblood of the social media organism. Users create their own profiles for the website or app, which is designed and maintained by the social media organization, and social media facilitates the development of online social networks by connecting a user's profile with those of other individuals and/or groups. Social media depend on mobile and web-based technologies to create highly interactive platforms through which individuals and communities share, co-create, discuss, and modify user-generated content. They introduce substantial and pervasive changes to communication between business, organizations, communications, and individuals. These changes are the focus of the emerging field of techno-self-studies. Social media differ from traditional paper-based or industrial media in many ways, including quality, reach, frequency, usability, immediacy, and permanence. Social media operates in a dialogic transmission system, many sources to many receivers. This is in contrast to traditional media that operates under a monologic transmission model, one source to many receivers. Some of the most popular social media websites are Facebook and its associated Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitter. Now, let's talk about using browsers, indexes, directories, and search engines. When we want to access the World Wide Web on the internet, we use a web browser. A web browser allows your computer to read information on the World Wide Web. The two web browsers that are the most popular are Microsoft Explorer, Firefox, Google Chrome, and Opera. Macintosh uses Safari, an older browser in Netscape. When you first get on the internet, each time you use it, you choose which browser you want to use. The web browser software we will use is Firefox. Firefox communicates with other web servers software on the internet to exchange information. This information is called a web page. The starting page at a site is called the home page. Every web page on the web has an address called a URL, Uniform Resource Locator. You can navigate around the web by typing the URL into the location or net site box, a rectangular box at the very top of your home page and many other web pages. When you look at the box on your home page, it contains the home page URL. You can change it. Put the cursor on the right end of the part of the URL you want to erase. Click and push the delete key on your keyboard until it is erased. Then you can type in a new URL, press return, and go to another web page. Now let's see what are the parts of URL. URLs have several basic parts. Here is an example. You see this, http www.yahoo.com. First one, HTTP, is a hypertext protocol, the programming language used to write web pages. Second, these two dots and dashes, separators to separate the name of the language from the rest of the address. The www means the World Wide Web. Next one is dot. Dot means separators to separate the parts of the address. And Yahoo means name of the server. And last one is com. It means domain. Com stands for commercial. Edu stands for educational institution. Gov stands for government. So now let's move to a browser. The browser you use will do two major jobs. Take you to websites when you type the URL into a location box, and second, take you to websites when you click on hypertext, words, or pictures. Now, let's talk about search engines, the World Wide Web. Browsers like Firefox allow you to look around at specific web pages by using the URLs and hyperlinks. Browsers can also take you to search engines. Search engines will help you when you are searching for information about a general topic, but you don't know the URL. The Firefox browser can take you to several indexes, but most popular are Yahoo and Google. Search engines are programs that use keywords to your research for you while you wait. Yahoo and the other indexes also function as search engines. On every web page of a search engine, there is a search box where you can type your keywords. The keywords determine the information that the search engine finds. It is important to choose every specific keywords. Results of your search with search engines. It's important to realize that each index, subject, tree, directory, and search engine may contain completely different information. Of course, several indexes may contain the same information too. If you don't find what you want in one index, try another. When you get results, you will have to go through them to eliminate irrelevant topics and advertising, because in this kind of search, the computer looks for matches to each word separately. Sometimes you may need to change or modify your keywords, but adding keywords help limit your search. Now let's talk about copyright infringement. Copyright infringement is simply any infringement up on the rights of a copyright holder. Copyright law gives you a copyright holder, usually the creator of the work, as a set of rights that they and they alone can exploit legally. The rights are copyright holder rights are these: the right to reproduce, copy a work, the right to create derivative works based upon it, the right to distribute copies of the work to the public, and the right to publicly display or perform the work. This means a wide variety of activities can be copyright infringing, including performing a copyrighted play without permission, writing an unauthorized sequel to a work, or simply making copies of the work. In short, copyright infringement is a very broad term, rooted in the law, that covers a wide range of unlawful activities that violate the rights to copyright holders. Now let's see what is a plagiarism. Where copyright infringement is a construct of the law, plagiarism is a construct of ethics. So, most broadly, plagiarism is defined as the taking the original work or works of another and presenting it as your own. The definition of work can include a variety of things, including ideas, words, images, etc. Anything that is seen as an unethical and unattributed use of another original creation can be defined as plagiarism. However, the definition of plagiarism is not always consistent. Different industries, for example, have different standards. A lawyer, for example, is held to different standards than a poet, which is different than a speechwriter and different from a musician. Because of this, as with copyright infringement, many cases of plagiarism are divisive as to whether or not a violation was committed. Um, Now let's talk about the differences of plagiarism and copyright, and the similarities too. Now let's talk about the differences. The key difference between plagiarism and copyright infringement is that not all plagiarism are infringements and not all infringements are plagiarism. For one, a person can plagiarize almost anything, including works that are not protected by copyright. If you were to claim to have written Hamlet, for example, it would be a plagiarism but not a copyright infringement, because the play is in the public domain and is not protected by copyright. Also, plagiarism often covers things that are not covered by copyright. Ideas, facts, and general plot elements are all things that can be plagiarized, at least in certain situations, but generally don't qualify for copyright protection. It's also worth nothing that it's also worth noting that getting permission to use a work makes the use no infringing, through it might still be a plagiarism. For example, getting permission to submit a purchased essay means that the use is not an infringement, but it is still a plagiarism as the work is not originally yours. To make matters more confusing, most copyright infringements don't really hinge on whether or not a use attributed. For example, if you passed out copies of a play without permission, it's most likely an infringement whether or not you tried to take credit for it. While plagiarism may have an impact on damages awarded if a lawsuit is filed, attribution generally doesn't make an infringing action legal. In short, it's possible to infringe a work without plagiarizing it, and it's equally possible to plagiarize something without committing copyright infringement. Now, let's talk about the similarities of plagiarism and copyright. On the surface, plagiarism and copyright both have a great deal in common. Most things that can be plagiarized could be copyrighted. After all, most plagiarism deals with either creative or academic work, and those types of works typically qualify for copyright protection when they are new. More importantly, so many plagiarisms are copyright infringements. Plagiarizing a blog post on a news site, copying an encyclopedia article without attribution for a book report, or submitting a photograph someone else took under your name to a magazine are all examples of both plagiarism and copyright infringement. As such, many plagiarisms are actually addressed through the legal framework provided by copyright law. Plagiarized content posted online is often removed with takedown notices. Commercial plagiarisms, for example in advertisements, are often dealt with through lawsuits and so forth. However, not all plagiarisms are copyright infringements, and not all copyright infringements are plagiarism. There's a lot of overlap between them. There's a lot of areas where they diverge. Through plagiarism and copyright infringement are often spoken of in the same breath, especially by victims of plagiarism who are seeking justice. It's important to remember that the two are not the same thing. Another way to think of it is this: while copyright infringement has one victim, the copyright holder, plagiarism has two sets of victims: the copyright holder and the people who were lied to about the origin of the work. The other important way to look at this is that plagiarism is an ethical construct and copyright infringement is a legal one. Though they have a lot of overlap, they are not the same and can never really be the same. So while plagiarism may come up in copyright decisions and vice versa, it's important to know that the two are different in some very important ways. So this was the digital skills and what are in it. And now let's talk about e-leadership. E-leaders, defining e-leadership skills. A new type of leadership, e-leadership, is becoming essential to organizational innovation and competitiveness. E-leaders are people capable of driving successful innovation and capitalizing on advances in information and communication technologies. Sufficient supply of e-leadership skills to the economy is believed to foster economic growth and create jobs through its key role in identifying and exploiting innovation opportunities. E-leadership skills have been defined as, let's see, skills which enable people to lead staff towards identifying and designing business models and exploiting key innovation opportunities, making best use of ICT, it means information and communication technology, and delivering value to their organizations. E-leadership skills include the competencies which enable an individual to initiate and guide ICT-related innovation at all levels of enterprise, from the startup to the largest of corporations, from private to public. Demand is growing throughout European industry to improve the quality of e-leadership, covering organizational leadership in ICT innovation to deliver business value. Recent research has confirmed that the shortage of e-leadership skills across Europe is significant, calling for action. The E is used as an all-inclusive acronym related to combinations of ICT and businesses, including all technical ICT fields, all business fields and activities by enterprises or people in developing, using, supplying, servicing, etc., and related to all competencies on all levels. The combination of E and leadership in the ECF means the ability to initiate and to instigate innovative processes by convincing others to collaborate and to apply entrepreneurial spirit in support of transformational processes driven by technology. The definition above can here be seen as the rationale of dealing with e-leadership skills, namely in a very simplified version using ICT to be innovative. This definition is in line with the e-leadership description by Fonstedt, who stated E-leadership is the accomplishment of a goal that relies on ICT through the direction of human resources and uses of ICT. E-leadership is thus a type of leadership that is distinguished by the type of goal that needs to be accomplished and by the resources a leader must coordinate and align. Both the goal and the resources involve using ICT. E-leaders are thus both businesses and ICT savvy. They might be ICT leaders who are also business savvy or business leaders who are ICT savvy. E-leadership will involve leading and managing e-skilled professionals as well as other professionals. We take on the notion of e-leaders being leaders with a T-shaped portfolio of skills, both businesses and ICT savvy. The three domains of skills. The three domains of skills, ICT skills, business skills, and strategic leadership skills can be further specified by enumerating skills that exemplify leadership in these areas. Uh, Market and business skills. Business survey will include, let's see, specific knowledge of the domain and the industry the company operates in and its requirements as well. Its capability to provide functional expertise based on deep and broad knowledge and understanding of business processes, flows, and related concepts, coupled with a profound understanding of the product features, technology, and emerging markets, understanding of customers, and the ability to identify the right strategic directions that builds value and the ability to manage technology-driven challenges and opportunities, taking advantage and making best uses of ICT developments and trends by exploiting innovation in identifying and designing new business models that deliver values to the organization. Strategic leadership skills are a set of intrapersonal and interpersonal skills that effectively drive tactical actions. Strategic thinking and decision-making towards an organization's improved performance and value built upon exploiting innovation using ICT. They represent a combination of forward-looking strategic skills with here and now tactical ones gained through past experiences. Through strategic skills, one will chart the course and make agile alternations in line with the organization's long-term purpose and goals, in a combination with the aptitude to effectively deploy actions and tactics, leading to a successful implementation of the right strategy targeting the desired objective. Strategic leadership skills build intrapersonal traits such as being capable of developing a compelling vision, making sense of a situation, determine the deeper meaning, significance of what is being expressed, ability to anticipate problems, challenges, and seek innovative opportunities, novel and adaptive thinking capabilities. Ability to organize and lead by effectively using past experience. Strategic and tactical skills also include interpersonal skills, uh, skills, interacting with and influencing other people, Effectively communicate an innovative idea, to propose an innovation project and guiding that innovation project to success. Ability to lead qualified staff from different disciplines towards identifying and designing business models. Building and aligning relationships across boundaries, not so much intra-organizational communication across departments, but communication across the boundaries of the firm in an ecosystems. Now, consortium partners, freelancers, supply chain relations in vertical markets, example relationship to corporate powerful customers. E-leadership skills needs are rather diverse across industries, enterprise sizes and life cycle stages. Also due to the dynamics of technological developments in ICT and although perhaps to a lesser degree in entrepreneurship and management science will evolve over time. E-leadership skills are combinations of a sufficient number and level of skills from all three domains. Key e-leadership competencies have been defined in the process of drafting e-leadership curriculum profiles, namely, as you see here, lead interdisciplinary staff, exploit digital trends to innovate strategic business and operating models, envision and drive organizational change for business performance, influence stakeholders across boundaries in the firm's ecosystems. E-leadership can be simplified as a combination of leadership, business and ICT survey, whereby the traditional separation between ICT and other business functions entails that specialization often means leaders have deep skills in one area and survey in another. Our surveys show regarding content of potential e-leadership education offers to be developed that many SMEs actually need leaders with very strong, also practical, hands-on ICT skills. Whereas in the corporate world, the ICT skills requirements of leaders often can be described as an excellent understanding of ICT capabilities. Now, leaders in SMEs tend to be more closely involved in the production of their ICT-based products or service. Another significant finding is that many SMEs rely heavily on outsourcing for their ICT needs. Outsourcing recipients may be consultancies, vendors, or other partner enterprises in the value chain. While the e-leadership definition includes being able to lead qualified interdisciplinary staff to exploit ICT best, an eminent finding for e-leadership requirement in SMEs, therefore, is to lead qualified interdisciplinary staff and consultants, contractors and vendors and other partners. In terms of technical content needed most, cloud computing, big data analytics, and mobile apps development have been mentioned as those technology trends that result in increased training and education needs for SMEs. E-leadership is the accomplishment of a goal that relies on ICT through the direction of human resources and uses of ICT. E-leaders are especially silent to digital enterprises. Digital enterprises are enterprises from all sectors of the economy that can drive economic and or social value by using digital technologies. They are characterized by a high intensity of utilization of new digital technologies to sharpen their business intelligence, engage with their customers, improve their operations, and invent new business models. Entrepreneurship is the accomplishment of a new organization through the direction of human resources. Entrepreneurs are leaders who create new ventures. And digital entrepreneurship is the accomplishment of a new organization that relies on ICT for its operations and its products and services through the direction of human resources and uses of ICT. Digital entrepreneurs are leaders who create new ventures that rely on ICT for their operations, products, and services. Effective organizations expect that e-leaders should have a T-shaped portfolio of skills. Very simply, having a T-shaped portfolio of skills means that a leader is both a business savvy and an ICT savvy professional. More precisely, having a T-shaped portfolio of skills means that a leader has the following skills. Using ICT, a vertical set of skills that represent expertise or deep knowledge in a specific area. For example, science, engineering, ICT, social sciences. A horizontal set of skills that represent transversal skills. Example, negotiation, critical thinking, design and system thinking, business and entrepreneurship that enable collaboration across a variety of boundaries, and both vertical and horizontal sets of skills require basic level of ICT user skills as defined by the Commission. Although a leader should have a T-shaped portfolio of skills, the distribution of expertise may vary depending on what sets of activities an e-leader is responsible for. For example, a chief marketing officer is expected to have a strategic understanding of technology such as social media and analytics and a practical understanding of measuring and modeling consumer behavior. On the other hand, an enterprise architects need to have a practical understanding of ICT systems and how to define and manage interdependencies, as well as functional, product and sector expertise to ensure that the enterprise architecture supports an operating model that is best for the organization given its strategy. The importance of e-leadership, identifying relevant technology opportunities and influencing organizational stakeholders to capitalize on those opportunities are some of the defining characteristics for modern ICT leadership. Employees, especially recent graduates, often benefit from having a defined structure that will help them evolve and grow as the organization evolves and grows. Continuous innovation in ICT applications bring opportunities for competitiveness and growth for enterprise, but also challenges to provide the understanding and skills that will make it possible to grasp the opportunities. The new wave of ICT innovation, with the confluence of social, mobile, and cloud technologies, the rise of big data, and the new analytics to create value, comprises many trends that are expected to affect demand for e-leadership skills over the next decade. The trends we identified have significant disruptive potential, rapidly advancing technologies with broad impact and significant value. These will dramatically change market balance and profoundly affect the skills balance. Operational ICT skills will be less in demand, but there will be increased need for specialized design and deployment skills for new digital services. E-leadership skills are needed to identify and exploit these new opportunities for business growth. This was our presentation. Hope it was good, and thank you for your attention. If you have any question, you can contact us on email. Here is an email, and you know our another email too. Hope our presentation was useful for you. So thank you again, and goodbye.